Okay, we mixed it up. It was 15.5 cups is what the math came out to be for 250 gallons of water. And it didn't even use half. It's probably maybe a little over a third of that bucket. And that bucket of concentrate was, I think, $24. Plus the rebar, and I think that was about 70. So between the tub, the rebar, and the cleaner, the OxyClean there, I think we're total into it right now for about $140, which isn't bad for the size of a vat. So got a bunch of car parts here, old bell housing, some other stuff. We'll start putting that stuff in. So into our basket. Just make sure it's submerged down in there. Got a whole thing full of nuts and washers and stuff. So dump that all in there. And that's got the holes in that metal lath are small enough where it should be. None of that should get through it, so drive shaft. So anyhow, I'll get finished loading all this up and then we'll fire it up. Okay, so we've got everything loaded and got battery charger, 12 volt. I got it set on 2 amp just because I've never done this before, so I don't want to set it up to 10 amp yet. So we'll take the negative and just hook it right to the basket itself where all the metal parts are touching it. And then we'll go ahead to our positive lead here. Yep, it's sparked, so it's drawing. It's got a load on it, so now if it's working, should start to see some hydrogen and gas bubbles forming. So of course got a lot of suds in there, so it's kind of hard to tell, but we'll come back after those kind of settle out and we can start seeing the hydrogen bubbles coming through. Okay, put the stuff in there and waited for about 10 minutes, 15 minutes, and you can see all the nasty stuff is already starting to come to the surface around the anodes or electrodes or whatever you want to call them. So it's starting to work. Come back tomorrow and see how it looks. Alright, so about 36 hours to 38 hours roughly is how long it's been sitting in there. And actually, because of the weight of the basket, I'll probably have to rig up something a little taller, but I rigged up temporarily a little support here and put a chain fall on it to help lift the basket up enough to where I can get the stuff out of it. So you can see how nasty it is. And here's something that was completely covered in rust. And you can see actually it's stripped all the rust off, including some of the paint. So we'll go ahead and start pulling all this stuff out and lay it out and see what it looks like. So this is our first batch, and as you can see, I'm really impressed with how well it worked. I mean, it's hard to see because of the sun, but I mean, it really took all the rust off, at least all the deep rust, or surface rust for the most part. A couple pieces that may not have had good contact with the basket, like a few of these bolts. That might need to redo, but for the most part it worked awesome.